Should be good. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of the NASCAR Valvoline Cup Series podcast here for NASCAR 25. I'm joined by the one and only NLS from the incredible battle at Nashville. Hello.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fitting that I'm on this episode. It'll be a lot to talk about for sure right off the bat.
Definitely. So, obviously everyone knows, hopefully by now, the finish that happened at Nashville. We obviously got some interviews after the race, but we didn't get too much thought out, so now we can really just yap about it. So, what do you what
Oh,
what do you think about the finish? Just like right off your head.
man, I mean, it's been what? It's been 4 or 5 days now, and I still can't get over the ending to that one. There's so much to go on. Like a lot of people will be like, hindsight 2020, I would have done this. I don't think I would have or could have done anything differently there. That was such a nuts finish. There was so much that went into it, and we can break it down in further detail here in a minute. But just like overall thoughts and feelings about the finish, like there's no other place that you're gonna get that other than Valvoline.
I totally agree. There's not a single league on the face of this earth that you'll get a similar finish. It's just like all the other leagues are like too calm or something. I don't. It's like
Or too hectic to have a
yeah,
long run in like that.
something that not many people noticed. We didn't have a single caution for incident. We only had the stage cautions, which I'm
Is
really
that
proud
right?
of. It is
Not a
right.
single one?
That's crazy to me.
Oh yeah. No, you're totally right. I forget because it was all strategy, stage one, stage two, and then stage three was just split down the middle. So strategy was just uniform for everyone.
And it was basically just you kind of dominated there at the beginning of it. You had the pace short run and in stage 1 and 2, and the strategy you had definitely helped with that. But how
Oh
did you
yeah.
feel in stage 1 and 2?
Stage one and two, I came in with such a good game plan. Stage one, I didn't because we practiced before the race.
Yeah, yeah.
You and I, we have a bit of a rivalry in so many leagues. So practiced a little bit before the race. I figured something out. It didn't quite click for you. So stage one, I dominated. Stage two, you just missed the tire call, man. I told you
I
what to
definitely
take for
missed.
tires,
I
and you
definitely
didn't
missed
do
the
it.
tire call. I knew what to take and I just forgot. So I just took 4. Cause okay, what I was going through my head right there is I thought we were pitting earlier that time than we did in practice, so I thought it was 4 tires, and I don't know, we weren't that far from the end, so I don't know why I didn't take 2, but yeah, stage 2 that was completely my fault, but I feel like you still would have had me on pace, stage 2.
It's first two stages, I think so. Yeah, the biggest thing that people like don't quite get about strategy yet is normally in a race where you do not think there are going to be cautions, you want to try to split everything in the middle to get the most you can out of a fresh set.
Yeah,
However, in a game like this where you have adjustments that give you a second extra per lap, you want those adjustments to come in as quick as possible because your long run pace is still going to be faster than a lot of times your fire off speed on a neutral setup.
yeah, that's true.
So a lot of it is you want to get your setup in as quick as possible that first stage. And then as soon as your setup is in, you start splitting things down the middle, or you start trying to predict cautions, which is where you can short pit, long pit, try to get tire advantages on other people. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but general rule of thumb is you split everything up and to get the shortest and best run possible out of each set.
Yeah, we kind of saw you do that in stage 1. You predicted where the caution would be, but there wasn't a caution, so you like guessed. You thought there wouldn't be any cautions, and it worked out for you perfectly because you decided to short pit really early in the race.
Yeah, no, the call for that new setup was a good call, and I was fast enough where I didn't get lapped, so it would have worked out for me either way.
That's
I just would have had
crazy.
to drive from the back, and the other if there was a caution, would have been a little bit harder. But regardless, I was fast enough where I didn't get lapped. Plus, I drew so much confusion from the field; they all started pitting early too.
Yes, you confused everybody, and it just mixed up the strategy so much in that first stage. But entering stage 3, I feel like it got a lot more even between you and I. Still not the rest of the field. Like the rest of the field was so much lower than us, but you and I found something to even it out with you
There
there.
were Tyreek figured something out as well. He was in it because of the draft a little bit, but he definitely had like the third fastest car, and
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure it was Tyreek.
but yeah. So he had third fastest car. He was able to stick with us and was patient enough to like understand, just like wait, see what happens, and he ended up capitalizing on that for a
That is
P2.
true.
So I was super impressed by his patience and his racecraft there. But yeah, you figured out a line that was better than what I was running for our setup. Obviously, our setup created a lot of tire heat, and you found a way to mitigate that a lot better than I did, which is where you started to draw me back in.
I don't know what I did, but I found a second level, so I was able to just whatever line I did, I was just wrapping the bottom. I don't want to give out too many secrets in case I need this for Jockey Nashville, but
Of course.
you're like, it's just you find that rhythm, and it's hard to stay in the rhythm, but something just clicked like so perfectly where I was able to hit it every single corner, and it
Oh
definitely
yeah.
helped when you missed those corners every once in a while.
I will say, from at least in my own perspective, it can be a blessing to run behind someone who you know is also pushing their heart out. We had another race at IRP in a different league where I was running behind you over and over again, and I knew that we were both pushing each other to the edge, which makes it that much easier to just be patient, back up the exit, and get a run off and gain time. There's a lot to be said about adapting to the other person's racing line when you're running in second.
I definitely think like subconsciously I was doing that, just being able to be behind you because I know some time of this race I was behind you for a little bit. I think maybe even before stage three, I was able to just kind of follow you along. It might have happened there, but I don't remember when this clicked. It kind of just happened. So, but I definitely see like following someone's line in the draft and just being able to stay patient can help you so much. Being able to find something.
Oh yeah. One of the biggest things people miss about this style of racing is how analytical it is, how much you got to think about what you're doing, make adjustments lap by lap, especially if you're running a setup or at a track like a concrete track like Nashville, it's high tire heat. Every single corner is different from the last. Even though you're going in circles, every single lap is a little bit different. Being able to make those adjustments on the fly, make those analytical decisions, so important.
That's one of the most important things, and especially in this game where it's so much more tricky to get onto pit road, out of pit road. Pitting is just completely different than it was in past games for a lot of these drivers. That's definitely something that these drivers have to adapt to. And for some of the other drivers like you and me that have quickly adapted to it, we're able to kind of capitalize on that and use it to stay up front.
Oh yeah, I mean just understanding how the pressures work, understanding what lower and higher pressures on each side of the car do, understanding like when you need to make a wedge adjustment, how the car feels, what's too much, what's too little. Finding a balance like that is critical. And also, I think we should take a second to mention how tricky this new pit system is. It's like the F1 games where you have to determine your pits while you're racing. And you lose a significant amount of lap time when you do that. I remember when you were catching me, there were about 3 laps where I was
Yeah,
adjusting my pit settings, and you caught me about a second in those 3 laps because it's so hard to do both at once.
it's definitely challenging, and just knowing when to do it to kind of lose that time to kind of I don't know how to explain it, but it's like making sure you're doing the pit adjustments at the right time to minimize the time loss, and it's just such a tricky thing to do because that just adds another thing to focus on during the race. It's just you're starting to get overwhelmed now during these races, especially with how intense they're getting now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, I know you wanted to go and discuss points topics before we wrap back around to some of the penalties that came out of Nashville, so let's keep moving on here.
Gotcha. The point standings right now, I'm up top with 203, but NASCAR F1 fan keeping it close in second. I think he's the name of consistency, definition of consistency to start this season. I mean, we haven't seen him that much, but he's up there in points.
NASCAR F1 fan has been a driver I've loved battling this season. He's typically sitting around that third to fifth mark, but he's doing it every week regardless of track style. He's not making mistakes. He is consistent. He's holding his line. I could expect a sneaky championship four run out of this guy.
That's a cool pick, and I really like that. I wouldn't say it's a hot take, but I think that's definitely an interesting take. Right behind him is Pumps. I mean, he thinks he hasn't had that good of a season, but he's been sneakily consistent to stay in the top three in points.
And we have the exact opposite situation with Pumps here. Incredibly fast, but he can't keep it consistent. He is maybe one of the most outlandish drivers right now. And I say that he's super fast, but he's aggressive and it bites him sometimes. If he can rile that, like wrap that in just a little bit, I think he could still have race winning speed at a lot of places, but he's got to stay consistent because I can see him missing the championship for the way he's going right now.
I definitely see that as well, and possibly even missing the round of six with how tricky the tracks are in the round of eight. Making some critical mistakes there could be deadly in these playoffs, especially with Chicago Street Course and Martinsville, two of the trickiest tracks in this game.
Oh yeah, and if you make enemies, those two tracks are going to be even more difficult for you.
Those are going to be terrible. But there is a couple interesting names in fourth and fifth. We have ESMN and Mopar up in the top five in points. Where did they come from?
ESMN and Mopar, these guys have been in a lot of different leagues recently. They they are part of the group that we kind of give our setups to, so I think they're benefiting some from that. I do truly think, though, that they are going to hit a wall eventually. ESMN, love the guy, I really do. He doesn't take pressure very well, and Mopar gets a little bit more hot-headed than I would expect. As consistent as they are, as much as I think they're going to make the playoffs, I think that's where it bites them. I think once those playoff eight know they need to show up prepared to every single race, I think that's when the pressure's going to catch up to these two.
Yeah, I mean, there's another name that's kind of in a similar situation. I mean, Weeb holding on the playoff cut line by 1 point, and there's a lion behind him in the point standings. That being you. It's going to be hard for Weeb to hold on. What do you think about your chances at making the playoffs? Obviously, very high.
It depends on how much I get to show up. So, as some of y'all know, I'm gonna be missing Charlotte. I'm on vacation, so that's gonna hurt. I think that I can win the races I need to make it in. However, showing up to every single race has never been something I can do. So, as much as I would love to say I'm fast, I can make it, I'm also pretty inconsistent right now. So, it could be a very interesting battle for the cut line. So keep your eyes peeled. It'll be tough.
I mean, there's a couple other drivers that we can point out later, especially when we're talking about penalties that got this race this past week. But two more names for the point standing segment right now. We have Bryce and Cade. I mean, Cade missed a race, but he has the pace to dominate.
I truly believe Cade is one of the best drivers who have adapted to NASCAR 25 right now. The thing that bites him, one, his internet is not amazing. He,
That
in
is
his own
true.
league, he sold a minute advantage at Coda and disconnected. I feel for the guy. It happened to me at Vegas and at Phoenix earlier this year, but that's not helping him. The other thing that bites him is he just seems to be unlucky right now. There are a lot of moments where I feel like Cade is far and away the best driver in the field, and then he just loses something, whether it's getting involved with a lap car or whether it's just being on the wrong strategy. Cade needs to figure out a way to just finish off these day races where he clearly has the speed.
I definitely agree. You know, Cade has the potential to be a championship winner. He's won championships before in the Valvoline Racing Series. One name above him, a legend in this league, Bryce. He's pretty fast, but he definitely has a couple of things he's going to need to make sure he's in contention for this championship.
Oh yeah, Bryce was great at Phoenix, but other than Phoenix, I don't think he's been better than the third or fourth place car. I don't know whether it's the adjustment to this game, whether it's just not practicing the tracks enough, but unlike Heat 5 where I feel like once you get a hang on one track, you kind of got to hang on a lot of them. This is a game that every single track is a little bit more unique. So I think Bryce, if he wants to have a serious shot at it, might need to put a couple more hours into some of the tracks he hasn't touched yet. That being said, we all know he has the potential, so you got to keep your eyes on him.
I definitely agree. And moving on our segments here, we have the race manipulation talk from
Oh
Nashville.
boy.
That adds so much to this finish, and it just makes it that much more exciting and unique to Valvoline. But I mean, it could have been just as exciting without it. So, what are your thoughts on the Milk Motorsports ESV? I mean, relations going
Ugh.
on.
It was messy, and I called out my broadcast with one to go as I send you, what was it, 5, 10 to go, 19
Yeah.
pits for new tires just so we can push you by me. And of course, heat of the moment, you're not going to tell him no. I don't hold any blame on you for that.
I mean, I
But
wasn't
at
gonna
that
talk.
point,
I was just
no,
gonna
as
keep
soon as the
driving.
19 hit me up the track in 11th place as we were racing for the lead, all bets were off. That is my one sole justification to the move I made, which I know went too far. But after the 19 shipped me up the track in 11th place, I said all bets are off. I'm doing whatever I can to try to get in front of these two. It was a lot.
It was overwhelming. And I mean, it probably would have ended at that move had it not been for your teammate kind of just stopping on the track and just making this so much more crazy. Like, I could tell you were getting ready to say your call, there are no words, and then you're going to say something about you winning, and then Sam's just there.
Yeah. I don't think I would have said anything until the stripe regardless. It all happened too fast for my brain to register. I already was a little dehydrated going into the night. I ran out of my water. I was yelling so much. Like you can hear me in the broadcast a couple of times say I'm about to pass out. Hold on. I have to stop speaking for a minute. And then Sam at a turn 4, he heard the radio communications between you and the 19. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna avenge my teammate. As my team owner, I'm gonna stop the 19 car."
That's.
And he missed and he got me.
I mean,
I
it's
don't blame him. He
crazy.
was doing he look, that whole race, it was our Martinsville 2020. This was Valvoline's Martinsville
Yes.
2020.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't blame him. I really don't. He did what I think he was going to do as a team owner in that situation, which, I mean, take it with what you will, but that whole race turned into such a mess. There are no words might be the only accurate way to surmise that call in the moment.
That I mean, it was gonna be an amazing battle without race manipulation, but that did add kind of a unique feeling to it. Like you're not gonna get race manipulation at some of these other leagues. Like they're just not intense enough, I guess. Like it's you
No,
just
and
get a
then
different
hopefully
aura.
we won't in this one anymore.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Not to
hopefully
this
not.
level. It's
Not
one thing to have teammates working together mid-race when they're running in the same spot, or it's like, oh, hey, your lap car, like, don't put him in the fence, but don't give him the line either. It's
yeah.
a whole nother thing to hit someone up the track and pit for tires when you're 2 laps down. That's too far. And I'm glad we both agree at this point that's too
I
far. With a
agree.
100-point penalty to each
Oh,
team.
the biggest penalty in all of Valvoline, 250 points total, 25 given to both Sam and G Cool, and then 100 points to Milk Motorsports and ESV. That destroys their chances at the team championship.
I believe we're both in the negatives.
I think we are. And then also that drops Sam down to 11th in points. He was on the cut line by just like 3 or 4. And G Cool is down at 45 points in 17th. This might ruin his chances at a good season.
I definitely think this hurts G Cool more than Sam. But G Cool was I will say I feel like that's somewhat fair. G Cool was the
I
one who started
agree.
it
I
all.
agree.
Obviously Sam retaliated, so he deserves an equal penalty. But Sam's also been a little bit faster this year. I think Sam certainly has the better shot to get back into it, but it's certainly not a good look for either.
I mean, yeah, I agree with everything you said, and there's just something missing with G Cool this season. I mean, I've seen the pace. He's made the Xfinity Series Championship 4 before in this league. Truck Series Championship 4 as well. He's been that close to a championship. I don't know what's is he just not adapting to this game? Like his average finish is over 10 to start this season.
Yeah, between field sizes being bigger with there only being one series in Valvoline right now, and then just this game being new. It's a new game. The people who put hours into it early are going to see more consistent success right now. And unfortunately, that's just not available to everyone. No harm to anyone who can't do it. There are lots of things to do outside of Valvoline, trust me.
Yeah.
But there has to be a certain level of dedication if you want to perform early on in a skill curve like this.
I mean, yeah, it's just like G Cole probably doesn't have the time, and I feel like you could say that for a lot of drivers in the battling for the playoff spots. You're gonna see the drivers that have that time and the free time to be able to put in those hours. You're gonna see them up at the top, and it's just gonna be a lot harder for everyone else to keep up with them because of the huge advantage it is to get this time on a new game.
Oh yeah, and again, this game is so much more sensitive than Heat. Heat was very arcadey compared to this, which is that much closer to a sim. Not saying that it is a sim, it's still very arcadish in its nature, but there's a lot more technicality when it comes to the tire heat, when it comes to the oversteer. Controller difference is bigger in this game than it was in the last game. The controllers have more of a disadvantage because of their oversteer. So there's just a lot more nuance to this game that you've really got to think about. And as everybody's adjusting, the people who are able to put the pieces together first are going to come out on top momentarily.
Yeah, it's interesting because I definitely feel like this game is a lot closer to iRacing than Nestor Heat 5, and that's an obvious point. Which is why I think Bryce is gonna. I thought he would be a lot better because he's on iRacing right now. He's racing in some big iRacing leagues and has some good time on iRacing. So I thought he'd be used to that. But I mean, I also see this game is a lot different than iRacing, and it might be hard to adjust to that. But this game is definitely a lot. It's very unique, and it's. I mean, I'm very happy with how it turned out, though.
Oh yeah, no, this game has been phenomenal so far. Obviously, there are things that need to be done to it, but iRacing doesn't just have a fix all button at their headquarters. It's going to take a few weeks to a few months to fix the issues with this game. The one thing I still want them to work on for sure is going to be force feedback related. It doesn't quite feel right, but part of that is because I've started to realize I need a better wheel. I'm looking into upgrades hopefully this summer I'll get a new PC, get a PC, can finally start iRacing. Go after a Moza, like a real good force feedback wheel, and I'm hoping that'll help a little bit. Regardless, though, this is a new game. People are going to take time to adjust and feel to it. So if by the end of the season you have a totally different lineup than what we're talking about now, it would not surprise me.
Yeah, and kind of shifting gears here. We were talking earlier about the rivalry between us, you and I, and it's kind of like that was on full display at Nashville. I mean, before the race manipulation, you and me were neck and neck. There was even a point where I was ghosted, and we were inside of each other, like literally
For like 3
milliseconds.
laps.
Yes, like literally identical lap times. How hard was that to drive? I could not see the bottom line, me personally.
No, oh no, it was guessing. It was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I'm in cockpit cam, and this is where I am. It was rough, and I can't believe we both held onto it without hitting the wall or anything major happening. The best comparison I can give you, you remember when donkey racing was a big thing at the end of the NASCAR Heat 5 era, when like people didn't have the game or didn't like
Yeah,
it, so everyone was racing donkeys in Minecraft. It was Dirty Air from Donkey Racing League. Sean, you're gonna love that reference.
It's just crazy to me. We were inside of each other and we still ran phenomenal
Us?
lap times. Okay. That's just, I mean, the reference to Donkey Race, I feel like it's perfect because, like, NASCAR E5, this just didn't happen. The ghosting, it was a lot different than it is now. And it's just,
Oh, it was like laggy checkups that damaged your car. I personally prefer this level of lag.
I
I
do
get that
prefer
people are
this.
going to complain about the bubble. I feel like as we get used to the game, it's going to be easier to adjust to. There's a bubble in Heat 5 too,
I
but
agree,
there was
yes.
also a lot more jittering between the cars, which I feel like was a lot more dangerous than the ghosting.
I agree fully with that. And hopefully throughout this season, with the races you can make, we can continue this rivalry, friendly rivalry, obviously. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything
Oh, of
bigger.
course.
But
I hope not. I hope Nashville's
I've
the extent of us moving each other out of the way like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a great time so far racing against you on NASCAR 25. You know, for all the viewers out there, me and him have a head-to-head stat sheet where we have the wins and the best finish, and it's kind of fun.
We do. I believe it's 9-8 right now when it comes to races run.
That's
So out of the
wild.
17 races we've run together, I have 9 finishes above you. You have 8 finishes above me. And I think wins is, I believe, 7-4 right
Yeah,
now. I have 7 wins to your 4, and you've been narrowing that gap a lot in
I've
recent
been.
weeks.
I think I'm trying. I'm starting to turn the jets on. I'm gonna, and you know, I feel like it's just gonna get better. And I love all the leagues
You
I'm in.
are.
I think it's gonna be fun. But you're not gonna get any worse. I feel like you can get better too. So this is just gonna it's gonna get even more fun as we get down to it. A couple final
Oh yeah.
things here. A couple final sections. We have the Charlotte race, which is the Coke 600, the second crown jewel of the year. But crown jewels, they're huge in league racing, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Crown jewels are big. I'm super excited to see how Charlotte goes. I'll be tuning into the stream for sure on Friday. I'll be paying attention to it as much as I can. I'll try to knock out some homework and be in with my family. I have a wild dark horse prediction for this one, and I think Pumps gets his first win of the year at Charlotte on a late race 5 lap to go restart.
that would be wild. And I feel like it's gonna be a long race. I feel like 100 laps at Charlotte. It's not too much, obviously, but it gets long once you're out there. And I feel like it could come down to the final few laps. You know, everyone's gonna push just that little bit harder to get some extra lap
Yeah,
time,
and
and
remember,
that's when it comes
Charlotte
down.
is a 4-stage race.
Oh, some
So it's
extra
going to be
points.
25, 25, 25, 25.
Extra points up on the table as well.
Oh yeah. It's gonna hurt me, but I'm gonna. Does Valvoline do subs? Can I request a
We do
sub
actually do
driver for?
subs, yes, but there's a
All
sub
right,
tax.
I might see if
We,
Sam wants to make up for being a bad team owner last week.
yeah, there's a tax. So if you have a sub, you get -5 points, but then you get all the points he owns. So it's like,
Okay, that's not a terrible system. I really don't hate that actually. But yeah, maybe I'll tap into my team and see if there's anyone extra who's willing to run for me.
I mean, my race prediction, I feel like it's either going to be a really, really long race that just runs green, and if Cade makes it, I feel like Cade's on I feel like he's on a different level. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can keep pace with him on ovals, and road courses, he's shown whatever he can do on those, but I feel like Cade has the mentality to stay calm for 100 laps and be able to hit his line each and every time. He's basically a robot sometimes. That's how he was on Heat. And he's been adapting so well. I don't see how he doesn't go out and try to dominate the Coke 600.
If the race goes green, I can see Cade, Bryce, Milk, Pumps top four. But if there's a late race caution, I really think Pumps will throw it in and get a controversial victory.
I think Pumps can do that as well. He's known for controversial victories, which I know he does not like at all. I'm hoping he can get one good one soon, but I mean, it's Charlotte, it's the Coke 600. You're going to throw everything you can at it, especially if there's something late in the race.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a must-watch event, I think, though. Charlotte in this game is one of the better mile and a halves. It's not quite a super speedway like Vegas is, but it's also not so asymmetrical like Texas, where the entire field gets spread out. It should be the top pack drafts with each other, the midfield drafts with each other, and then you'll have a couple of separation. Maybe the leader gets free, but with the right strategy, it should be a very, very good race to watch.
I definitely think it'll be similar to Nashville, kind of. You might have a couple that are on their own level, but it's still so entertaining when those two are on their own level. So I definitely think it's going to be a must-watch event. It's a crown jewel. Everyone's going to want it. You know, kind of the Daytona 500 was so much different than how we expected it to go. So hopefully Charlotte can go a little more predictable. But I mean,
Oh yeah, plate races in this game are just so different than heat. It's going to take up people a long, long time to get comfortable with plate racing in this game. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that.
I definitely agree with that. But one more little short story we have. We're racing on Black Friday for the third straight year. It's not too big of a story, but that's quite a cool little piece of information, like a little fun fact. Black Friday races are
Oh
not a
yeah.
new thing.
No, it's become sort of a tradition in Valvoline. It's certainly not popular among all drivers like
Yeah, that's
me who
true.
has to miss it, but it is become kind of a staple of Valvoline. Like, hey, we're gonna run the race when the most eyes might be on us. Friday night, there's
That's
no more
true.
football. People are done shopping for the evening, trying to relax. It could be a great time to tune in as a race fan.
That just gives me more need to get a commentator somehow, especially since you're not going to be there. So I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah,
But I
unfortunately.
mean, hopefully it's a good race. Thank you for being on the podcast tonight, Mr. NLS.
Absolutely.
It's been
Thank you
great.
very much.
Thank you all for watching episode 2 of the NASCAR Valvoline Cup Series. Next time we see you, we'll have crowned